Pride. So we want to start, we thought it was very appropriate that we started this memorial celebration with a song from Johnny Crescendo called Choices and Rights. Hiya.
I just want to. I'm not very good at public speaking, but I thought I'd have a go today, just for a little. Just bear with me for about a minute. But it's a long way to come from England. But I wanted to be here today to remember Wade and Lincoln with you. I want to bring the love and the support of the beautiful British disability movement to you. And we want to tell you that we share and mourn in your loss, and we share your hopes and in your action to liberate our people. History is watching that today. The eyes of the children of those who resist us are watching. They are learning that their parents are beasts. And to those who do resist, and to those who do profit and gain from the oppression of running nursing homes, to those only interested in greed, profit, patronage and self-interest, this is what I say: we will win. As truth always wins. And after our victory, your children will know you as poisoned, barbaric people who defended murder, imprisonment, segregation and abuse. The wheels of justice are turning today. The wheels of truth are spinning, and freedom will come to all our people.
Right on. I hope you're right here.
And I tell those people this: who then will defend you for what you've done, for what you're doing today? Who will give you drugs so you can sleep at night? History is full of fallen heroes who have ignored the march of truth. Ask black people which US presidents had slaves. Ask the Native American Indians what heroes they had. Ask British black people about the slave ports and the politicians that were involved in that. Ask about the silence of the 1930s Holocaust. So who are you, Bill Clinton? Are you for freedom and truth, or for the patronage of Jerry Lewis? Do you see the war that's being waged against us? Which side are you on? We're here to make sure that America respects all its people. We have gifts of hope for you and your children. I am here from England to learn how it's done. So teach me that. Teach America. Teach the world. I remember Wade and Lincoln Blank. Thank you. Scott Church, right?
It's Scott, right?
No, Mark.
I'm sorry, I'm Margaret. Margaret.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
remember like the last day.
Yep.
Like last day now.
She's great.
I want choices and rights. Choices and rights. I want choices and rights in our lives. I don't want anything for me. I got my own autonomy. I got choices and rights in our lives. I don't want a charity or you to be paid to care for me. I want choices and rights in our lives. I want choices and rights. That's what we've got to fight for. Choices and rights in our lives. I don't want your benefit. I want thinking it from where I sit. I want choices and rights in our lives. I don't want to be in your care or stuck someplace out there. I want choices and rights in our lives. Try and sing the chorus, it goes like this. I want choices and rights. That's what we've got to fight for. Choices and rights in our lives. Try and sing it again, come on. I want choices and rights. That's what we've got to fight for. choice isn't right in our lives. I don't want your sorrow, I don't want your fear. I want choice isn't right in our lives. I don't want your guilt trip, I don't need your tears. I want choice isn't right in our lives. We don't need your special schools, we gotta get out and teach the fools. We got choice isn't right in our lives. I'm not gonna stick out my hand, together we're gonna make a stand for choice isn't right in our lives. I want choice isn't right, come on, that's what we've gotta fight for. Choice isn't right in our lives. I want choice isn't right, that's what we've gotta fight for. Choice isn't right in our lives. I don't want a charity, a holidays by the sea. I want choice isn't right in our lives. And the white coats are burned on fire as our strength grows higher, for choice isn't right in our lives. Walk through east, walk through west, walk through over the cuckoo's nest, for choice isn't right in our lives. I want choice isn't right, that's what we've gotta fight for. Choice isn't right in our lives. Let's hear you sing it. I want. One more time on your own again, come on. I want choice isn't right, that's what we've gotta fight for. Choice isn't right in our lives. Thank you very much. See you later. Thank you.
Hey, that was good.
If there's anything that epitomizes Wade's life, that song does. Okay, our next speaker. You all know that Senator Tom Hawken was one of the leaders who helped push through the Americans with Disabilities Act. The staff director of his thing, Bobby Silverstein, is here to make a few words for Senator Tom Hawken. Bobby is the staff director for the Disability Policy Subcommittee of the Human Labor and Human Resources Committee. Let's hear it for Bobby Silverstein.
I mixed them up today. Okay, this one will have Laura Hershey on it also. This one was done in Australia. So.
On February 16th, 1993, Senator Hawken made the following statement on the floor of the United States Senate. Mr. President, I rise today to mourn the loss of Reverend Wade Blank of Denver, Colorado, one of our nation's leaders in the disability community. Wade, along with his son Lincoln, drowned while vacationing in Mexico. My heartfelt prayers and thoughts are with his wife Molly and their daughters Heather and Caitlin. Wade was the founder of ADAPT, a grassroots organization that empowers people with disabilities to engage in direct action protests. ADAPT believes that it is important to force confrontation with authorities to demonstrate that people with disabilities care deeply enough to go to jail for their civil rights. Prior to the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, an omnibus civil rights act that makes it illegal to discriminate against people with disabilities in employment, public services, including buses and other modes of transportation, public accommodations, and telecommunications. ADAPT stood for American Disabled for Accessible Public Transit. After ADA was passed, the group became American Disabled for Attendant Programs Today. Wade was an activist with a heart. His family included all people with disabilities. Whether Wade was chanting, "We will ride," or "Free our people," or "People united will never be defeated," he knew that he must continue to fight for a better America for all people, including those with significant disabilities. Because of Wade's efforts, all new buses must now be fully accessible. The fight for consumer-driven personal assistance services continues. Today, an intolerable number of people with disabilities who want to live independent lives are forced into nursing homes and institutions and a life of dependency. We will continue Wade's fight for consumer-driven personal assistance services, and I know we will succeed. Wade, you fought for what is right and just. Your memory will inspire us to carry on. Thank you. Now, when I was coming over here, I kind of said, well, what would I like to say?
Better watch it, I'm back.
And I went back to my mentor, Saul Alinsky, in Reveille for Radicals. And let me read his definition of a radical, because it's something that has always stuck in my heart. America's radicals are to be found wherever and whenever America moves close to the fulfillment of its democratic dream. Whenever America's hearts are breaking, there are American radicals were and are. America was begun by its radicals. America was built by its radicals. The hope and future of America lies with its radicals.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm proud to be a radical. What about you? I think the message that Wade had spanned both the people he touched and also the politics. Wade had friends from all the spectrum. The next speaker was a friend that had really one of the major bonds between Wade and this person was the Cleveland Browns football team. Evan Kemp, the former EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commissioner, chairperson, basically was very, very good friends with Wade and Molly and the Chids. And now that he's out of government with the switching of administrations, Evan is moving on to the media and wants to say a few words in remembering Wade. Let's have a hand for Evan Kemp.
How you doing?
I know I don't look like Evan, but Evan has asked me to say his few words. His health is failing and his voice is weak, and he wants me to say what he wanted to say to you all. Evan's going into surgery Wednesday, where there's not an adapt event for Wade and Lincoln and Molly and Caitlin and Heather and all of you who have played such a critical role in the disability rights movement. Evan would have stayed home. But he felt that you all came from clear across the country, so the least we could do is come from downtown Washington, D.C. He also asked you to tell me that under the Oregon health plan, which Bush vetoed and Clinton approved, he could not get this surgery unless he was independently wealthy. Rather, the state would say that he had such a low quality of life that he should die. Joe Shapiro, who's here today, writes about this issue in his great new book, No Pity. Boyden Gray, who's also here today, is a friend of ADAPT. He went against the quality of life argument. And Evan wants to know, is this a difference between the Republicans and Democrats? And to challenge the Democrats. Now for Evan's words, I hope the great author, Jonathan Swift, will forgive me for borrowing his epitaph and lending it to the great disability rights activist, Wade Blank. He has gone where fierce indignation can lacerate his heart no more. Wade never allowed the heat of fierce indignation to sear his commitment to justice for persons with disabilities. He embraced the causes that seemed the most hopeless, turning his personal anguish at gross inequity, which we've all suffered, into social victory for millions. There are two rules in the disability rights movement, indeed in any movement. The first is that no one is indispensable. The second, that movements are defined by events, not people. Wade was the exception to both those rules, Evan thought. But I thought Wade indispensable till I got to know Mike, Babs, Stephanie, Bob, Robin, Laura, and many others. Now I think Wade did what few ego-ridden movement leaders do. He was willing to open up and train new leadership. Adapt is strong, it will survive and go on to win attendant care. Who can forget those 3 hot days in July of 1978 when Wade and his gang of 19 launched a peaceful campaign to win the basic right to accessible public transportation? Yeah! The country gawked as Wade and all of you activists in wheelchairs blocked the path of 2 buses in the Denver intersection of Broadway and Colfax. They refused to leave without a victory, and thanks to Wade's leadership, they achieved it. Every bus in Denver today is operating with a lift. And who can forget that warm afternoon in March of 1990 when a group of people with disabilities led by Atlantis Adapt dragged themselves up these steps to the Capitol and into the Rotunda to demonstrate their commitment to a strong Americans with Disabilities Act. They wanted Americans to understand the importance of the ADA, and thanks in part to Wade's leadership, the country came to embrace the spirit of equality for persons with disabilities, and the ADA became law. Yet, Wade was humble in victory. He never accepted a salary higher than $18,000 a year. And when, on the 2nd anniversary of the ADA, Denver officials memorialized the Gang of 19 with a plaque dedicated to Atlantis Adapt, Wade declined to have his name included. I hope you will not forget Wade's latest quest for justice. His tireless efforts to free 1.6 million persons with disabilities from the chains of life in nursing homes. Free them now! At the time he died, Wade had made mainstreaming his latest crusade. With his leadership, I know we will realize that goal too. The world knew Wade as an activist. I, and most of you here, knew him as a friend too. Many people question how Wade, who never had a disability, could possibly understand what it really felt like to suffer the pain of exclusion, the scourge of discrimination. Wade did understand, and his understanding was not born of paternalism or pity, but of true outrage at the injustices hurled at persons with disabilities. Yes, Wade's loyalty was true. Last year, I got myself in a bit of hot water with the White House over my disagreements with Jerry Lewis's pity approach to fundraising. Lewis had his supporters pepper the White House and Congress with demands for my firing. And it looked pretty sticky for a while. Yeah.
Tell Jerry Lewis to get a real job.
Yeah. Tell Jerry Lewis to get a real job. I could hear the fury in Wade's voice as we discussed this issue. We discussed what MDA was trying to do as far as forfeiting my job.
No way, you get a job anyway.
Wade said, I will walk from Denver to Las Vegas in protest if the White House doesn't reappoint you over the Jerry Lewis issue. And you know Wade, he would have walked every step of the way.
Yeah.
Wade's belief in justice for persons with disabilities was his passion. But he didn't take himself too seriously, and I don't either. We had a lot of lively discussions about another passion we shared, the Cleveland Browns. When we lost Wade, the Cleveland Browns lost their biggest fan. I am honored to have called myself Wade Blank's friend. And as his friend, I am comforted by the knowledge that Wade will never again suffer the pain of fierce indignation. Molly, Caitlin, and Heather, I recognize your deep loss. Lincoln and Wade are no longer with us, and I send you warmth and love. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is a friend of Atlantis and a friend of Wade and the families for years. When Wade and the Gang of 19 surrounded that bus, Representative Pat Schroeder basically came out and handed cups of coffee to Wade and the Gang of 19, so she knows that the Atlantis Adapt struggle is a long-term struggle and is not afraid to be out there on the streets with people. Let's give a big round of applause for Representative Pat Schroeder. And her dog, Whoopi.
Well, thank you all very, very much. And what an honor this is to be here as a friend of Wade's. We in Colorado feel we lost a great state treasure because he constantly challenged us to remember when we say those words, liberty and justice for all, we mean all. It's like, what part of all don't you understand? And he understood that to his very core, that that's what the foundation of this building was built upon, and that's what the foundation of this city was built upon. And this is where we all had to continue working to make sure those things weren't rhetoric, but they were real, that they were very real, and we really meant what we said. And so I think it is tremendous that we are here in this tribute to him on Mother's Day. Wade and Lincoln can never be replaced, but we can all try to continue the great fight he had for human dignity and everything else, because that's what it's all about. He constantly worked for change in Colorado and made a big change and became a national leader too. So I just wanted to come by. I left Colorado early this morning to get here, believe me. But I wanted to come back from Colorado on this Mother's Day to be here because I say Wade was one of the few people who understood why this country was so terrific, why it was so important, why we need to be here to constantly remind people it's about our rights and it's about our citizenship and what we are entitled to through that citizenship, and to make sure that the great bounty of this country includes everybody, not just fat cats, or not just somebody's favorite few, or not just those who come in with a political action committee, or not those who have Gucci-shoed lawyers, but it means everybody. Everybody means everybody, all means all, and that's why it's so important. So Wade would want us all to be here. He would want us to continue on his work, There are still many too many people in nursing homes. There's still many too many people trying to squeeze profit out of this, out of other people's dependency, and only build that dependency so they don't lose their profit. As you can see, my dog has escaped.
Free at last!
He's free, exactly. He's all for freedom, too. He came over to display his great solidarity for freedom, and he hates leashes. So please don't turn him into the Capitol Hill Police. They'd love to arrest him for being out there. That's right. So we're all here. We thank you very much, and I just can't tell you what a great personal loss I feel. And I think we've all got to be here, be energized, and keep the dream coming. We've got to translate it from a dream to reality. That's what it's about. That's why we're here, and that's what Wade wanted. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Representative Schroeder. Our next speaker is Representative Major Owens. Name is Vida Sisquazy. Major Owens appointed the task force on rights and empowerment of people with disabilities. Wade was part of that. He served with Justin Dart and others in the disability rights community. And Vida Sisquazy is going to say a few words from Representative Owens, a civil rights leader himself. Thank you very much.
Right.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased and honored to be here today to pay tribute to Wade Blank and to celebrate his life. I bring a statement from Congressman Owens. Every once in a great while, an activist group emerges from an oppressed community and distinguishes itself by not being afraid to speak out and act up. ADAPT is one such group that has taken to the streets this weekend here in Washington, D.C. to highlight the need to include people with disabilities in plans for health and education reform, moving away from segregated institutions and settings and towards full inclusion. ADAPT has taken a leadership role in organizing demonstrations and activities for this March on Washington, which has been touted as the greatest protest in history for people with disabilities. With the advent of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the stage is set for people with disabilities to participate fully in American society. This landmark legislation is a true mandate for equality, which provides clear and enforceable standards for the elimination of discrimination against individuals with disabilities. Although the law is on the books, it is still in its early stages of implementation. The letter of the law mandates equality of opportunity. However, we must stay vigilant and active to guarantee that we achieve the spirit of the law, namely full participation, independent living, and economic self-sufficiency for all people. Wade Blank, founder of ADAPT, was a man of vision and conviction, committed to the civil rights movement and to raising the awareness of the American people about discrimination faced daily by people with disabilities. He marched in the South for civil rights in the 60s and adopted the tenets and tactics of nonviolent civil disobedience to advance the cause, be it access to public transportation or attending programs. I applaud the commitment of ADAPT to the principles of the ADA and trust that, in the name and spirit of Wade Blank, ADAPT will continue to bring to the attention of the American people the struggle for empowerment and freedom. By so doing, we will be one giant step closer to liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's good. Our next speaker, Paul Miller, is the Director of Disability Outreach for the White House Office of Presidential Personnel. Let's hear him for Paul Miller.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here to participate in this celebration. I have with me a statement from President Bill Clinton, who couldn't be here today, and
We want to see him.
we'd like to have it read.
We want to see him.
Thank you. This is the White House. I extend sincere sympathies to all who are gathered to pay tribute to the memory of Reverend Wade Blank. Reverend Blank dedicated his life to helping persons with disabilities achieve independence and integration. By helping those with disabilities gain the opportunity to live, learn, and work where they choose, he contributed to the dignity of all Americans. His tireless efforts made a difference in the lives of so many people, and he will be missed. I am committed to ensuring that all people will have the opportunity to live independent, purposeful lives. We should all embrace the ideals for which Reverend Blank devoted his life: independence with dignity and integration for all persons with disabilities. Working towards these goals, we can renew America and create a nation where all people live with dignity. I join you as you mourn the passing and celebrate the life of a wonderful man, signed Bill Clinton. Thank you, Paul. I suppose our next speaker is known by almost everyone out here today. A leader in the disability rights struggle who has served in so many capacities as both an individual advocate, a government advocate, and now continues to serve as the chairperson of the President's Committee on Employment of Persons with Disabilities. Let's hear a real rousing round of applause for Justin Dodd, Jr.
Congratulations, ADAPT. After all these years and all these demonstrations, you are going to meet with the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Congratulations, Secretary Shalala, and congratulations, President Clinton. Now, colleagues, we are gathered here today to celebrate a great human being. Wade Blank was a sensitive philosopher of democracy. He was a superb organizer. He was a mature, sophisticated politician. He had total honesty and total follow-through. You could take Wade Blank's promises to the bank. Now, these are rare and good qualities, but alone they would not have enabled him to use an unfashionable method to bring an unfashionable cause to an historic victory. Wade Blank had a magic sword. It was love. Wade understood that love is not just smiling back at nice people, but passionate, lifelong action to preserve and to enlarge the joy, the dignity, the quality of human life. Wade Blank understood that love does not smother with criticism, care, and control. It encourages, emancipates, and empowers. Wade Blank understood that love for all means justice for all.
You can step it down just a little bit right there. That's good.
Wade's love warmed and empowered us all. It breached the defenses and won the respect of congresspersons, business persons, police persons, jailers, judges, and mayors. Again and again, Wade's love lifted my heart and my mind from the self-centered desperation of Washington politics to the dream. Now, some folks, mostly those who didn't know Wade, have said that his methods were extreme. They said that civil disobedience in the 80s and the 90s is passé, is obsolete, is inappropriate. The same kinds of things were said about Washington, Jefferson, Gandhi, and Martin Luther King. What is extreme, what is inappropriate, is millions of human beings living with less dignity than we accord to our pet dogs and cats. What is inappropriate is American citizens imprisoned without due process of law in oppressive institutions and rat-infested back rooms. What is inappropriate is people with disabilities living and begging and dying in the streets. What is inappropriate, what is unspeakably immoral, is a society that cannot be bothered to make the simple changes necessary to give its own children the opportunity of full humanity. Our colleagues, today we have an historic window of opportunity to begin to make those simple changes. Now, our new president is pledged to lead us in people first change, to lead us toward an America that empowers all of its people to live the good life. Our citizens have voted for people first change. Our public media is, at long last, focused on people first change. But there is massive opposition. The forces of people first change are locked in an epic struggle with powerful lobbies for the status quo. Our colleagues, we of the disability community cannot afford to stand apart from this struggle. We cannot afford the token solutions proposed by lobbyists, token solutions that will condemn people with disabilities and millions more to continue decades of poverty, isolation, and discrimination. Token solutions that smother the American dream in debt, dependency, and disillusionment. This is our fight. Let us join together in memory of Wade. Today, tomorrow, as long as life remains, to continue his struggle for an empowerment America. Let us pick up Wade's sword of love and truth and courage and use it, each in our own way, to cut the chains of all who are slaves to pity, prejudice, and paternalism. Let us embrace Wade's golden heritage of responsible action for life and enlarge it in our own lives and invest it in the lives of all who will come. Let us join in one voice to shout Wade's shout. Free our people.
Free our people! 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 Free our people!
From the institutions, from the back rooms, from the prisons of poverty and perception, free our people.
Free our people!
Let us unite in action to free our people by implementing ADA in every life and every community in America. Let us unite in action to create quality, affordable, consumer-driven personal assistance services that free our people. Let us unite in action to create quality, affordable, comprehensive health care services that free our people. Let us unite in action to create systems of education, employment, communication, transportation, housing, economic support, and community services that empower and that free our people. Colleagues, for our children, for our grandchildren, for all children to come, we have got to win this fight for an empowerment America. And colleagues, and when we will. And I believe that, because like Wade, I believe in the power of passionate and principled people. I believe in you. I believe in you, Molly Blank, Mike and Babs and Tisha. I believe in you, Bob and Stephanie, Mark, Tom, George Roberts, Larry Reese, Rick James, Sharon Atkinson, Phyllis Burkhead, John Gladstone, Jim Parker, and every single one of you, the heroes of ADAPT. I believe in you, Bob Silverstein, Pat Schroeder, Tom Harkin, Major Owens, and all the true soldiers of justice in the Congress. And I believe in you. I believe in you, Judy Heumann, Paul Miller, Bob Sevigny, and all of our great colleagues in the new Washington Empowerment Team. And I believe in you, my old colleagues in the struggle, Bill Scarborough, Marka, Michael, Liz, Evan and Janine, Boyden, Howard, Paul Marchand, Sharon and Phil, Gerald, Terry Susan, John and Chris Lancaster, John and Marcia Nelson, Jenny Thornburg, Gerben, Cindy, Ron, Bob, Joe Shapiro, Denise, Eric, Hardy, and so many, many more. I believe in you. You have created the miracles of the buses and of independent living. You have created the miracle of ADA, and now you will create the miracle of Empowerment America. Colleagues, I believe in you, I respect you, and yes, I love you. Wade Blank, we love you, and that's easy. But now we will try to rise above our personal hostilities and to love each other, Wade, as you loved us.
Yes!
And now, Wade, we will try to live our beliefs as you lived your beliefs. Together, colleagues, together we have overcome. Together we shall overcome. Together we shall free our people. Thank you.
Free our people! 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 Free our people!
All right. I know everyone's getting hot out there, but
get some water sprayed. And just remember all our brothers and sisters who are locked away in very hot nursing homes and other institutions. I want to also recognize the people who are holding the banner. They wouldn't let us hang the banner from the second story, so let's give a hand for the people holding the banner behind me here. Our next speaker is a writer-poet who has written a poem in memorial to Wade, and we'll read it now. Laura Hershey from Denver.